Power, betrayal, and rebellion, these were not foreign concepts to the gods of Olympus. Their throne was built on war, from the Titanomachi to the But what if I told you that one of the greatest rebellions wasn't waged by the Titans or the giants, but by a goddess? And not just any goddess, the one most would least expect. Aphrodite. She is often remembered as the goddess of love, beauty, and desire, a vision of grace draped in silks, enchanting both gods and mortals alike. But myths have a way of hiding the truth, twisting it to serve those in power. Because beneath that radiant exterior, Aphrodite was far more than a symbol of romance. She was a force of chaos, a queen of defiance, and a goddess who once waged a war that nearly shattered Olympus itself. To understand how this war began, we must first understand who Aphrodite really was. Unlike most Olympians, she wasn't truly one of them. Some myths claim she was the daughter of Zeus and Dione, but the more ancient stories say something different, that she was older than Zeus himself. Born from the sea foam when Uranus's severed flesh fell into the ocean, Aphrodite was no mere Olympian. She was a primordial force, a power that existed before Zeus even took the throne. That alone made her dangerous. She wasn't bound by the same loyalties as Hera, Athena, or even Apollo. She had no reason to bow before Zeus. In many ways, she was the last remnant of an older era, a time before Olympus, and that made the gods uneasy. For years, Aphrodite played the role of the enchanting goddess, the divine matchmaker. But beneath it all, she watched, she learned, and most importantly, she saw the cracks in Olympus's foundation. The gods were arrogant, self-absorbed, and in many ways, they feared her. They saw her not as an equal but as a temptress, a disruptor, a tool for their amusement rather than a ruler in her own right. The final insult came when Zeus forced her into marriage with Hephaestus, the god of the forge, a brilliant craftsman. Yes, but Aphrodite had never chosen him. It was a punishment, a way to control her. Zeus saw her growing influence, the way gods and mortals alike fell under her sway, and he feared what she might become if left unchecked. Aphrodite seethed. She had spent centuries shaping love, controlling hearts, influencing kingdoms and heroes alike, and yet Zeus thought he could chain her down like an object, a mere prize to be claimed. That was his mistake. At first, her rebellion was subtle. She whispered in the ears of gods, planting seeds of doubt, stoking old rivalries that Zeus had desperately tried to bury. She turned Ares against Athena, knowing their feud ran deep. She fed Hera's jealousy, fanning the flames of her hatred toward Zeus. She even swayed Apollo and Artemis, playing on their grievances over how Zeus favored some gods over others. But her greatest move was turning the mortals against Olympus. Aphrodite didn't need brute strength to wage war. Her power lay in influence, in desire, in the unshakable force of love and longing. She had shaped kings, warriors, and nations. Now she would turn them against their so-called gods. She whispered to queens and emperors, filling them with doubt. Were the Olympians truly worthy of worship? Had they not failed mankind countless times? Cities began to question their devotion. Temples once filled with prayers to Zeus grew silent. More and more, Aphrodite's name was the one being spoken. Her altars the ones overflowing with offerings. Zeus felt his power slipping. For what was a god without worship? Zeus was no fool. He saw the storm brewing and knew Aphrodite was at the heart of it. He called for her, demanding her presence, but she did not come. Instead, she sent a message, one that shook. I am not yours to summon. It was a declaration of war. The gods erupted into chaos. Hera saw this as an opportunity to strike against Zeus, while Ares, torn between love and duty, prepared for battle. Apollo hesitated, unsure of which side to take. Athena, ever the strategist, demanded Aphrodite be silenced before she could undo all they had built. But Aphrodite was ready. She had armies of men and women willing to fight for her, rulers who had sworn their loyalty, and gods who questioned whether Olympus was truly as mighty as it seemed. For the first time, Zeus faced a war that was not against titans, giants, or monsters, and then the war stopped before it could truly begin. Not because Zeus had won, but because Aphrodite had already won in ways he didn't even realize. Olympus did not fall, but it was forever changed. The gods no longer saw Aphrodite as a simple figure of beauty and love. They saw her for what she truly was, a force of nature, a goddess who could topple empires, shatter alliances, and bring even the mightiest gods to their knees without ever lifting a weapon. Zeus could not erase her influence, so instead, he reshaped the myths. He allowed her to remain among the Olympians, but only if she played the role he had assigned her. The tales of her rebellion were buried, her power rewritten to seem frivolous, her might reduced to mere romance. But the truth lingers, hidden in the old stories, the ones whispered before Olympus took full control of history. The truth that Aphrodite was not just the goddess of love, she was the goddess of rebellion. And some say, even now, her war is not over.